I had a meeting with the Accountant General. He said this payment is going to be. There was no explanation to it. Then why did I pick interest? I saw environmental security funding. I've never heard that before. And the amount involved is huge, 800 million. Every month, this chairman contributes this money to give a leader of one particular party. And in our schools, we don't have teachers. So I felt I should invite them, and I actually invited them. That day, unfortunately, I didn't have time to meet with them directly, but my deputy did. He asked for a simple thing. Explain this. They could not explain. He said, okay, if you cannot explain, give me your books. 24 hours which they choose by themselves, they never did. 48 hours that the deputy gave, they never did. 2 weeks, nothing happened. I have to send a letter to EFCC to please look into these people's record. At the same time, as a parliamentarian, I know there are people that have oversight function rights over them, which is the State Assembly. I also sent a letter to the State Assembly. Invited them, they refused to come, and State Assembly decided to say, okay, we suspend you for two months so that we can look into your record. That is it. But I want to thank you because you have changed the narrative. What you have done is not out of contest. It's not out of the law. Impeaching somebody who is corrupt, who has used the local funds for personal gain, sending him away is not wrong. I recognize you as my chairman.
Those two gentlemen join us. Thank you for staying with us. They join us this morning to discuss this vexed issue of local government administration crisis in Edo State. Damian Lawani, as you've seen there, is the chairman, Local Government Services Commission. He is representing the APC, as well as Honorable Matthew Idorienwemkem, who is former majority leader of the Edo State House of Assembly, former governorship aspirant. He's also a chieftain of the PDP. Both of them join us virtually from Benin. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let me begin with you, Mr. Lawani. Now, we heard the governor speak there, and those allegations are quite stiff. Please tell us what exactly is going on right now. This issue has been on for a while.
Good morning, viewers. I think you just heard the governor, and that is the present situation. And you know very well that the issues are already being challenged, and we are in court, and we have joint issues. But most importantly, the law forbids vacuum, and the steps taken so far is to ensure that those vacuums are covered. And whenever there is a vacuum of such in an arm of government like that, the leader or the speaker steps in as an elected leader. And what has happened is not strange. Even at the state level, if the governor and the deputy are out, the speaker takes over. So at the local government, same has happened. And within the first 2 months, while the investigation will be going on, somebody must be in government. And we cannot leave the government just because someone has been suspended. And mind you, the suspension or the place on hold is not done or was not done by the Edo State government. It was done by the parliament, who is saddled with such responsibility to oversight those arms of government and those agencies, departments of government. So what has happened so far is what the law has prescribed, and that is why we are here.
Okay, let me ask Honorable Matthew, do you agree with him when he says that this is not something being done by the governor, it is something being done by the House of Assembly as prescribed in the laws?
I think this is most laughable. It's completely laughable. First, he says it's not something that is being done by the governor. Who wrote to the House of Assembly to dissolve councils? Who wrote to the House of Assembly to dissolve councils before the House of Assembly members on their own, without inviting the council chairman to explain any allegations alleged against them? Went ahead and said they have suspended the local government chairman and the advice. They didn't even say chairman, they said the chairman and the advice. You see, these people, what they are doing in APC is they are making a mockery and a joke of.
But you know, Honorable, before you go on, you would agree, of course, that the allegations, first of all, validate the allegations or refute the allegations that the governor made of some 800 million naira being given to one party chieftain by the local government administrations.
Well, I don't know where the government got his information from, but mind you, the local government is a tier of government. Just as the local government have an office called the Office of the Auditor General of Local Government, you have the Auditor General of the state, you also have the Auditor General of the Federation. It is that office that is saddled with the responsibility to look into the books at that level. If the Auditor General of the local governments found the local government chairman wanting, he has the right to issue them audit queries, and when they refuse to answer him, we have anti-graft agencies. You have the EFCC, you have the ICPC. You heard the governor saying that he personally wrote to the EFCC. You wrote to the EFCC, EFCC is still investigating. You not told us the findings by the EFCC. You wrote to the House of Assembly. The House of Assembly did not even bother to invite these persons. And the next thing we heard is that they have, suspended the chairman for 2 months. After that, they didn't stop at that. They now started doing what I call kangaroo impeachment. Take for instance, like my local government, Okpebholo local government. Once councillor went to sit in the chambers, while the other 8 councillors, because one of the councillors has resigned position as councillor, 8 councillors were together. One councillor went, they took him to the legislative chambers of the local government, and only one person suspended the chairman and the vice chairman. How is that done? We are living in a country where we are guided by the rule of law. What is the rule of law? The rule of law simply is the adherence to the Constitution by both the government and the people.
Okay.
When the people and the government do no longer abide by the Constitution, then it means that we have gotten to a place of anarchy.
Honorable, are you saying that the governor has no right to step in when he discovered or got wind of those allegations, those issues going on? Are you saying the governor has no right at all to step in?
There are institutions that the governor would have contacted. He would have contacted, for instance, the Edo State House of Assembly, for instance, to investigate those allegations. because there's a committee on local government in the House of Assembly, could have contacted the Auditor General of the local government to investigate and get back to him. It's like the president of the country saying that,
just a second, just so we get the perspective before we get the perspective of Mr. Lawani on that one. But the governor already contacted the House of Assembly. Isn't that the process that he was talking about?
No, he wrote to the House of Assembly to dissolve the councils. He didn't write to them to investigate the chairman.
Okay. Mr. Lawani, okay, yeah. Mr. Lawani, I'm sure you have some responses to what you've heard the Honorable, talk about. The governor could probably have done better in the light of the rule of law.
Well, I'm really taken aback because my leader there knows the practice. Haven't been a majority leader, haven't been a very practical politician all the while. Anybody, not even just the governor, can write to EFCC or any anti-graft body when there's reasonable suspicions of any corrupt practice, not just the governor. In this case, sir, if I would take it further, the issue in question borders on joint account of the state government and the local government. The governor has said that such an amount has been given to you, transferred from the state government account to you for why 2, 3 reasons. We want to know if these actions were carried out. Please, let's have your books. And I'm sure if the in and out ledgers were brought in before the committee set up by the governor, we won't be here. They asked for 24 hours. The governor extended it to 72 hours. Unfortunately, this matter was dragged on up to 2 weeks. No report back, and you can't hold government to ransom. Because the governor now felt, okay, maybe they will not respect his office. There are other arms of government who are saddled with those responsibilities of checks and balance. And he decided to inform the Edo State House of Assembly, whose function is to make laws, supervise, oversight the activities of government at any level. So what the governor has done is not out of place. And what the House of Assembly has done was just to say, okay, because we don't want you to be a judge in your own case, step aside for 2 months while we look at those books. Because they would have been able to tamper with the investigation, alter documents as it suit them. But the House of Assembly, in their wisdom, decided to ask them to step aside to enable them do a proper investigation. And mind you, the governor did not dissolve them. Neither did the governor suspend. It was done by the Edo State House of Assembly, which is a different arm of government.
Your Honorable,
as a tier of government,
just a second, Mr. Lawani. Just 1 second, Mr. Lawani. Honorable, when he was talking the other time, he said that the governor wrote not to the House of Assembly, not for investigation, but for the action that you just talked about, suspension or dissolving of those local government administrations.
The governor wrote for the House of Assembly to intervene in investigating and finding out what has happened. Since they could not obey or honor the governor's instructions, or as discussed when they said 12 hours, 72 hours, 1 week, 2 weeks.
Okay. Now, there is
nothing was heard.
I'm curious. Just a second, Honorable Mr. Lawani. I'm curious. You are the chairman of the Local Government Services Commission. What's supposed to be your own role as the one oversighting, so to speak, or administering Local Government Services Commission. Is there any role you could have played before the governor had to step in?
No, in fact, that would have been more detrimental to our staffs. You know, we are saddled with the responsibility of handling the local government staffs, their training, their promotion, pensions, discipline, and all that. But in this case, if funds are tampered with, you will be sure that salaries will not be paid. Projects will not be carried out.
Was this issue flagged by your office? That's the question I'm asking. Was this issue flagged by your office before the governor had to come in?
Yes. Yes. The issues were discussed with the chairman. That in the event that your books are asked for proper record, please oblige.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lawani, anyone who understands, just a second, anyone who understands...
They were going to come with the books within 1 week.
Okay. Anyone who has been following the politics of Edo State will probably say there is a possibility of some degree of politicking at play here as opposed to the real issues of governance. How much of these issues being raised are political? How much of them are governance related?
I believe that at any point, people will always say that there is politics in it. But I'm of the view that this is a very more like the governor asking people to do the right thing, do the just thing, do what you are supposed to do. So it's not about the governor. If monies were taken and the governor is the governor of Edo State and he cannot ask questions, it means he's not the governor. And besides that, sir, it's not about the governor in this case. Any other person would have asked EFCC or any anti-graft body to look into these books. Some of them already have EFCC cases that were brought in by the citizens of their various local government. Why were they not questions?
Okay.
Why were they not asking them what right have those citizens to bring petitions against their chairman?
Okay, let me ask Honorable that same question. Honorable Matthew, how much of this is this for you more political as opposed to more governance related?
For me, it is purely political because first, we must realize now that the local governments have full financial autonomy. And two, Section 7 of the Nigerian Constitution guarantees the existence of a democratically elected local government in place, and also guarantees that the governments of the state must ensure their existence. If you, as a governor, you have issues with local government, I said it earlier on, and I may repeat myself again, there are offices and institutions that you can contact. If you wrote a petition, for instance, to the FCC, nothing is wrong with it. Let the FCC do their job. If you wrote a petition to the House of Assembly to investigate, let the House of Assembly do their job. But beyond that suspension, you now started going from local government to local government, inflicting violence. Look at what happened at one local government area. But they were shooting, and if you see the pictures and videos, you will be surprised how Edo State has gotten to this level. Now, somebody is telling you that the governor just called them to bring their books. Then what is the duty of the auditors in the local government? What is the duty of the Auditor General of local government in the state?
Honorable Matthew, if you can, I mean, I want to be able to get what your party said, because your party was very direct in the way that they described the situation. So I want to be able to get what Tony Azegbemi, who's the chair of the caretaker committee of PDP in Edo State, actually said. He said, what I will say is that the governor does not have the capacity. And I think this is where a lot of people from the opposition are having issue with what he said, the tone and the words used. What I will say is that the governor does not have the capacity to understand these figures. The best he can do is refer these matters to the anti-corruption agencies. It is not his job to wake up every morning and be talking about money spent. He cannot be accusing men and women of high integrity every day. It's like an obsession for him now. He should get on with the governance of the state and stop disturbing us with figures. Is that why he was elected? He should carry on with his job. But many people believe that it's impossible for him to carry on with his job if he doesn't understand what's going on at those levels. I want to ask you just dispassionately, away from the political wranglings, do you think it is important for the governor to know what this, and this money's amount is 6.5 billion between January and September of 2024, and 8 billion to the local governments between October and December. And he says no tangible development has happened despite this 83 billion naira allocation to the local governments in the state. Away from the politics, right? Do you think that as governor, he should probably look into what these monies have been used for that would help him do the governance that your party has asked him to focus on?
I will tell you, straight up, that has got into to do with the responsibility of the governor. It's like the president of the country today coming out to say, oh, a state government should bring their books. He's not sure that there are developments going on in the state, and then asking the National Assembly to suspend that governor. That is completely against the Constitution. The local government, first, they are autonomous, they are a different tier of government. You have state governments, you have local government, and you have the federal government. If you have issues, there are also offices, constitutional offices, that have been set up to monitor these people. And if there are reasons, why do we have the anti-graft agencies? Let them investigate it. And if they have found one thing, the laws are clear. Those that you want to prosecute them. Not like you trying to go through the back door to hijack the local governments and take them over. I just mentioned earlier on that they did not stop and even suspend the supposed suspension of the chairman and vice chairman. They are going to the local government council using one councillor, like my local government use one councillor. I can send you the video later and you can see it. To use one councillor out of 10 to say he has suspended the chairman and the vice chairman of my local government. In some local government areas, they use 2 councillors, they use 3 councillors. That is completely anti-democratic.
I want you to be able to answer the question that I asked. I understand what you've said.
Yes.
We've been hearing the PDP. We've heard your party say this constantly for the past few weeks. We get that point. You feel it is undemocratic. You feel like it's fomenting violence. We get that. My question was, just as if you, because you were a former governorship aspirant, if you had won the election, wouldn't you have wanted to know what this money is? A lot of money, 83 billion in 1 year. If you had been elected governor, would you have wanted to know what the money was used for in those local government areas?
Figures, let me tell you, those figures, you've not heard from the local government chairman to ascertain whether those figures are true or false. And I also let you know that the local government
I think we've run into a bit of a hitch with the connection. I think he's back now. Yes. Go on, Honorable Matthew. We can hear you. Oh, sorry about that. Let me see if I can get Mr. Lawani to answer a few questions on this as well. So the Local Government Services Commission, and I was listening to you talk, Mr. Lawani, about how this is something that you have actually, it was brought up with these local government chairmen, the issue of the accountability of these monies, and that you didn't get the accountability from them that was necessary, at least sufficient for the work that you do. But I want you to be able to respond to that issue from the People's Democratic Party, and I'm sure when Honorable Matthew comes in, he'll say more about it, which has to be, refer these things to, there's an Auditor General in the state, there's EFCC, there's ICPC. Refer these things to them and give us updates. But don't come and be calling people out every day and saying that he stole money every day. You don't have proof that he did that. You probably don't even understand these figures yourself. At least that's what the PDP is saying. Should he have just referred these things and focus on the issues of governance, as the PDP says?
Very much. What is governance? It encompasses. And one of the greatest expectation of the people is that their yearnings are met. And it's based on the budgeting. And if from the budget, monies were found to have been given to Mr. A, and you said that Mr. B, who is the head of the class, has no right to ask whether the money was properly utilized or not, it means that we have failed. Irrespective of the party, there is nobody. Well, my leader was talking about autonomy, financial autonomy. The financial autonomy in question, they are still using the same joint account. And the governor has said that because the financial autonomy has not started and we have released monies to you, and we have discovered that this money were not utilized for the purpose it was meant for. I can ask questions as a citizen. The governor, as the head of the class, can ask questions. The president can ask a governor.
Well, Mr.
questions.
Lawani, that's the thing. He's not asking questions. He's making a statement saying that the money was not used for what it was meant for. He's making a judgment. He's not asking questions.
No, it's not judgment. He has asked questions. He said, please, can you bring your books in 48 hours? You said, no, in 12 hours, I will bring them. And the governor waited for 1 week, waited for 2 weeks. I'm sure if these books were brought, there is no way the governor would have taken further steps. But he saw it that these people were not ready to comply. They were not ready for them to work together. Can there be local government without the state? No. Can there be state without the local government? No. And if you are saying that the composition of the state includes the governor, just like you saying that the governor is from a local government, he has the right to demand for an account of how his local government was governed. And thank God he became the governor. And the man, you don't need a PhD to ask somebody that 20 naira was given to you, please account for it. That is just a simple question, sir. By way of asking, they refused to comply, and the governor felt, okay, there is a higher power going through the constitution. If it's a constitutional democracy, go through section 19 and 20, what the state government law says. The House of Assembly is the one in charge. The House of Assembly can impeach the governor and the deputy, can remove the chairman. Are you also aware that the House of Assembly can even remove the chief judge? Just the same way it is in the National Assembly. So the House of Assembly ensure that there is checks and balance to ensure that nobody, use powers the way they can just use it for their personal benefit or interest. So if the governor has written to the House of Assembly, that is a democratic process.
Has he written to the EFCC? Because these are corruption charges. Has he written to the EFCC or the ICP?
He has. As we speak, ma, today, the EFCC has invited the head of local government administrations. And I'm sure that the chairmen are also invited. So for me, there is no point just because the governor is not in your party does not mean that what he's doing is wrong because it's not in your party.
I want to be able to get a response from Honorable Matthew. Can you hear us, sir?
Well, Kayla, I want to say that my brother Damian is actually trying to defend what is not possible to defend. First, he said by himself, and you heard him, that the governor wrote to EFCC. He wrote to the House of Assembly, but he did not write to the House of Assembly to investigate. And the period for which you are asking these people to give accounts, is it when you now became governor or before you became governor? For how many months, for how many years do you want? The governor does not have the powers constitutionally to ask local government chairmen to bring statements of account and come and submit to him. And a Supreme Court pronouncement is like a supreme law. is superior to every laws made by, whether you say it's National Assembly, made by the Houses of Assembly. And the Supreme Court has said it is not possible to remove a local government chairman unless he or she is impeached by their councillors. And there are procedures for impeachment. They are not following all these things. That's what I'm saying. If the governor wants to know what is happening, there are institutions called the Auditor General of the local government. You can ask him that you need evidence as to how funds allocated to local governments over the past few months were expended by those local government councils. And mind you, chairman and vice chairman alone do not spend money in the local government. You have the head of the local government administration, which is the organ. You have the person who is in charge of the finances in, at the local government level.
I mean, Honorable Matthew, before we wrap up, because we are running out of time, I wanted you to answer that question. I know that you were a governorship aspirant in this state. I just wanted to find out from you personally, if you had won that election, wouldn't you have wanted to look at the allocations to your local governments? First
and foremost, I didn't contest governorship election in the very last election. But if I am the governor of Edo State, I will go through the constitutionally ordained institutions to get any information that I want. I won't take it by myself like I'm seeking for self-help. That is what Edo State government is doing now. By going to the councils by themselves, getting one councillor to impeach chairman and say the chairman and vice chairman are impeached, and then trying to seize over the finances of the councils. That is undemocratic. That is not acceptable to any Democrat or any progressive at this time of our democratic evolution in Nigeria.
Mr. Lawani, maybe the governor should have focused on the accountant general in the state and ask for the finances. It's not as though the local government. You heard what the PDP says. It's not as though the local government chairman is the only person that knows where the money is. If the state has account, someone allocated money, someone watches it. That is the job of that auditor general. Why didn't he just focus on that? Why are you going after local government chairmen and vices and councillors by yourself?
If the governor has not seen the auditor general's report, he wouldn't have taken the steps that he has taken.
So what was the auditor general's report? Let's start from there. What was that report?
He indicted the chairman. And the governor said, to further prove this, let me also have the books. Let's work like a family. Like I said, there cannot be state without a local government. Neither can there be local government without the state. So if the governor asks, and you know your books are clear, Kela, just like somebody asking you, I want to see your certificate BSc. And you know you graduated from a reputable university and is known. So why will you go to court to say, I want to stop you from asking me to bring my certificate? That's ridiculous. That's unacceptable. For me, I will be glad to say, this is my certificate. These are my books. This is what we have spent. And you can go through them.
All right.
And like I said, there is no way the governor would have taken further steps if these books were brought and family discussions were held.
All right, we do have to wrap it up there. I want to thank you both, Mr. Damian Lawani, Chairman of Local Government Services Commission and representative of the All Progressives Congress. Thank you so much for being with us on the program. And Honorable Matthew, former majority leader of the Edo House of Assembly, former governorship aspirant and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you both for being with us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much.